What's up again, YouTube? Now, this is Hyperion and Castle Hyperion, and we're back in my item sorter room, and you're gonna be like, oh god, I've seen this a million times. Alright. But here's the thing. Last couple times I've shown it, I didn't get to show off a little device I created, and I kind of wanted to give you guys a chance to see that. But I also, want to recap real quick. So, now, one thing I've always said in all my videos is that the worst thing to happen for your item sorter is for an item chest to fill up when you're not paying attention. When that happens, when the chest fills up, it fills up this hopper. Once that hopper fills up, it fills up this hopper. And once that fills up, your power in the back is going to start running all the way down the line, opening up all the hoppers, and you're going to mess up your entire sorter system down the line. Well, maybe not your entire, but you're going to mess up a good portion of it. You're going to have to fix it. And if you're not paying attention, it can really just like become a huge mess. And the best thing about a sorter system, is that it's all automated. You're not supposed to have to constantly check it. But there are a few items that sometimes might fill up your chest quickly, and the number one culprit of this problem is cobblestone. Cobblestone is pretty much, you can't come back from any mining operation, especially if you got a little mining area down below your castle like I do, that is just absolutely just made by you, just digging out holes in the world. So yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of cobblestone for that. And so my cobblestone chest constantly was filling up without me knowing it, and I didn't realize what was going on, and that I'd come up here and all of my items next to it were just kind of completely had to be reset. So what I decided to do was figure out a way to detect when the chest is full and issue a dump. Issue a little dump to make sure that the chest never fills up to the absolute brim. And here's how you can. Here's one way you can do that. And there's going to be more to this video than just a dump, but for now, let's just cover that aspect. Right here, we've got a comparator, and you'll see a little bit of redstone. Now I gotta see if I can jump over here because I kind of tore up my house to show you guys this. But here we have a redstone torch running 2 blocks into the side of the comparator. Now the reason the name comparator has the name comparator, or the reason it has the name comparator is because it is comparing. It is comparing the redstone signal of the item behind it versus the redstone signal around it. And here we have a redstone torch, which gives off the max redstone signal in the game, and it's going 2 blocks, so it's losing a little bit of power. And if you were to just do 1 block, basically what would happen is the power output from the torch would be greater by just enough to equate to a chest being full to the brim. But once the chest is full, that is now putting out more power, and thus, by comparison, because of the comparator, it will activate the comparator. Now, the reason I did 2 blocks is because I don't want the chest to actually be 100% full, because there is a slight delay to this system which allows one item to slip into this hopper, and after enough times of this running, you'll start to notice this has started to fill up one item at a time. So you wanted a little bit of space just to give yourself some buffer room, and as you can see here, we actually have 3 spaces that are open. Now, what you could do from there is what I have here is the comparator is running power through this block into a comparator loop-based timer. Now, this is a comparator timer, and what that does is it holds the power for a few seconds. Now, what's the difference between this and a repeater timer? Well, a repeater timer, if you've ever seen one of those or used one of those, takes a few seconds to turn on, but a comparator timer turns on instantly, but takes a few seconds to turn off. So it's a little bit of a reverse system. Even though the repeater timer will take a few seconds to turn off as well, the comparator timer is nice because it's an instant on timer system. Once that's on, it will hold the power for a few seconds, allowing for a few extra slots of items to dump as well. Again, building up that buffer space, just so we don't make sure we don't have it full for even a single tick of a time of in-game time, because that could still jam up your system eventually. So that holds it on for that little bit of a buffer space, and it runs the circuit all the way down here to a redstone torch, which is holding a hopper closed beneath the chest. Now, there's a couple hoppers here, and that's because you got to run your redstone signal all over the place, and so this is the most convenient way to do it. But yeah, it's gonna start to unload this chest once the power is gone through this whole system and held for a second. So we're gonna just go ahead and throw a few bits of cobblestone in there, and as you can see, that is turned on. It has instantly activated the comparator timer, It's going to run, which is turning off the torch. It's going to run and dump some of the stone. I can't show you guys that because this is a trap chest, but just but just take my word for it. It is dumping cobblestone. Actually, guess you can watch right here. As you can see, it's dumping some of this cobblestone from this other hopper. And it is turned off, so it is reached enough space within, which is about, looks like 3 blocks, not including whatever is going on up in this corner. And now that took a second, and we're going to throw I think, let's just throw like 3 items in there so we can, oh, nope, it needs more than that. All right, let's say half. There it goes. And now we need that to turn off so I can show you the timer system on that, but it might be a little too long to even show you that, and I got a lot of other things to show you. So, there it goes. You can see it slowly fizzles out, and there we go. All right, so now, where is it going? Now, normally what I would recommend you do is you definitely want to dump into a buffer chest, which means a chest that like holds it for a few seconds, just in case your systems aren't running fast enough to keep up with the hoppers. But what you can do is throw it into a dump system similar to my incinerator upstairs, and then it could just dump the items into nowhere or into lava and get rid of them, and you don't have to worry about them anymore. But I thought I'd go a little bit more creative with that, and I created a system that feeds the items not down into somewhere where it gets rid of them, but into this chest, which feeds 2 other hoppers and into 2 little furnaces. And those furnaces are going to turn that cobblestone into stone. And when it turns it into stone, it then empties out of the furnaces and puts it into an item elevator. Because an item elevator, just like all the ones I've built all over my house, and that sends it all the way back up into this chest where I now have stone. So a nice little automated system. I don't have to monitor it. It makes sure that it always leaves a little bit of space so that when the cobblestone gets close to filling up, you still come away with a lot of cobblestone if you actually want that much cobblestone. But you don't have to monitor it and check on it constantly. It'll do it all itself. The only thing you do have to make sure you check on is to make sure that there's no this chest isn't full, but you know, with how slow it works, you got time. You got time to worry about that. But anyways, so yeah, so that's how you can get the furnace system going. But wait, you ask, what about the 2 furnaces fuel sources? Now that became part of the issue, and I ran into a lot of complications. Now the obvious thing I did was I added another hopper system, but this one, being that it was side by side from this one, I couldn't really power easily the hopper to detect if you know, when it's full and everything like that. But it is connected to my coal, as you can see. And I didn't want it also to dump all my coal into the system. Now, with everything dropping way down there into the system, we were going to like lose a lot of coal in the process, just being stuck in the middle of hoppers and everything like that. So I wanted a system that was a little bit more automated for the coal as well. And, you know, I mean, at least when you're dumping some cobblestone, you're probably going to have found some coal along the way. So that's going to be probably have a few items in it as well while this system is running. And what I did was I ran a little system where I wanted to detect not that this chest was full, but when these hoppers are full. And when these hoppers are full, I wanted it to stop unloading into this whole system. So there's a little circuit that runs up and turns off the hopper right beneath the coal, and the coal will continue to collect in a box like normal unless one of these hoppers is empty. Now, one of the issues we ran into with the hoppers, though, is that when you run the system with a hopper to the side of your chest here, you're only getting 1 item per tick. In-game tick, which is like in-game seconds. It's complicated. I don't want to explain it. But anyways, and that item will always just empty to the far left hopper first. Or, well, I mean, it depends on the way you got it laid out. But it's, in this particular case, it emptied into the left hopper first. And what that meant was this hopper wouldn't get any coal unless this one was full. But again, we're talking about wasting a lot of coal and all the systems and everything like that. And I wanted to make sure that these were even and working both furnaces at the same time, so we didn't get another jam up over here where this one's filling the 2 furnaces at both equally at a relatively equal speed. So what to do there? Well, I designed this little system here. And what this does is, again, like the chest upstairs, there is a redstone torch with 1 block, so it has to be absolutely full for the power to. So even 1 item being taken out of here is enough to not equal the redstone torch to the side and shuts off the comparator. Now, when the comparator is on, it runs over here to this piston. The piston is holding a block in between two repeaters and the redstone circuit that you can't really see right now, but trust me, it's through this hole. And what's going on there is, and I'm gonna throw a little bit more cobblestone in here just so we can get this system working through. What's going on is the repeaters are passing power through the stone here to each other, and when that system empties, whether it's the left one or the right one loses a piece of coal, then it will open up one of these two pistons. Now my power source, I doubled up this torch over here. It is running over here with a constant on system that's going to keep that hopper closed. But once one of these loses a little bit of charcoal, we're going to see if we can take a little out. It now turned off that comparator. Now this hopper is full, so any coal that dumps down is going to fill up this one first. But, and there's not even enough, but so let's go throw some more in there. But as you can see, throw it in that one, not in the cobblestone. That'll really create an issue. So as you can see, it is going to, oh, that filled up fast. But it now detected that this is full, and therefore it put the piston back in its place. And again, we're going to take a little bit out here and show you that the piston is now breaking the circuit so that the hopper above is now open and dumping coal into this hopper until it is full. And we're going to go ahead again and see if I can't, let me put it right in this hopper. I think that'll work the best. Yeah, so it's going to fill that up and boom. And the piston goes back. So there you go. That's a nice little convenient way to do a staggered hopper system when you're stuck with this problem. It's not very small, so it's not necessarily the most convenient thing, but it is a simple fix to something along these lines to make sure that the two hoppers are full before stopping your flow. I don't know if there's a lot of practical reasons to use this unless you're building something similar to me, but I just wanted to show this off because it took some figuring out, and now that I have it all figured out, I thought it would be pretty helpful to some people who might have run into a similar problem. So, but there you go. That's how you could stagger these two hoppers, and now they will evenly fill up both furnaces and keep both furnaces full only when cobblestone is flowing through and there isn't any and there's enough coal. Now, if there isn't enough coal, it will continue to dump down here regardlessly, because the system will now be off if both of them are empty. It will stay off, and therefore all coal that you collect from that point on will fill these first until they are full, and then you can start collecting some. And believe me, I've got enough coal to not worry about that. So it's a handy dandy little system, and it's a nice way to get yourself an automated setup for if your items are filling up in your item sorter. Now, if you want to do something complicated like this, but you've got a lot of items that are filling up pretty quick, you can still build something like this. You just kind of want to actually stagger out your boxes and not put them side by side like this, or work a system like this. But again, it's you're not going to have a lot of room to work with. But that's one way to do it. So if you have your items that typically fill up your boxes, probably set them aside in a halfway point in the whole system, and and that would relieve you of that issue. But otherwise, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about how anything worked here, feel free to comment below, and hope you liked the video, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.